what we're going to address is really one of the biggest mistakes. Okay, I don't want to say one of the biggest mistakes, but it's a mistake that I think a lot of people make. And okay, I'll put it to you this way. So I've got a 14-year-old daughter. She's gone snowboarding before. She's gone wakeboarding a bunch of times. Really good wakeboarder. She's only snowboarded a couple times. Snowboarding is, especially when you first start out, it can kind of be fraught with peril because there's a tendency when you fall back to want to, hold your arms out, and that's how, especially kids, they'll break their wrist. So I've just been reluctant to teach her because I know what to do just because it's conditioned in my head, but I don't really know how to teach it. And there's a big difference between knowing what to do unconsciously and actually being able to articulate what you're supposed to do. So, she wants to go with me, and I've told her I wanted to take lessons from a qualified instructor for a couple of days, and then we go hang out on the mountain. That'd just make me feel more comfortable, and then she's going to get a lot more out of it. She ain't hearing it. That's what, immature people kind of do. I'm just going to jump into it. I learn by doing, which, makes some sense, but not when there's a particular amount of danger involved. You're not going to have someone learn by doing driving a car. You're not going to have to a degree, but there has to be some personal training, some guidance, right? Real estate carries a certain amount of danger in that there's a lot of opportunity to do deals, and there's a lot of opportunity to fall so in love with the deal that you just do dumb things, whether it be using your personal credit, acquiescing on down payments and time frame and monthly payments and price and those kinds of things. So it really is critical that you get the training before you just jump in the game. Even though everybody just wants to jump in the game, particularly when you made an investment to learn something, you want to jump in the game and get that return. I can empathize with that. But I'm just going to tell you that because we're going into lead generation, that there is I see it all the time, there's a strong tendency for people to almost gloss over everything that is needed in advance of getting the results that good lead generation will bring. Because it makes no difference how many leads you generate or how motivated the leads are if you're terrible at what to do with them. And if you haven't done this before, you're terrible at it because you've never done it before. It's not like a judgment on your aptitude. I'm terrible at everything just about that I've never done before. You got to kind of stick to a process and learn the process. So when I go through some of this lead generation that we're going to be going through over the next, certainly the rest of this week and next week, don't feel so compelled to just jump right in to lead generation. You got to know what to do with these leads. You got to know what to say when you get them on the phone. Did I stump any of you last night on any of those questions, concerns, objections? Was anything that I said even slightly confusing? If it is, folks, get that nice and wound up tight. It'll make the experience of calling sellers so much better for you when you don't get body slammed by sellers because you're so anxious to go out and do a deal because you see other people doing deals that you go in half-cocked and you just get creamed. So it is really important to, at the very least, to some degree, trust my judgment on this, that get yourself to where you have a thorough understanding of the strategy that we're deploying. The overall strategy can be summed up with a simple binary trade-off. Get your money now, whatever you have coming. Get your loan paid off now, whatever it is. Get your house sold and it's off your plate completely. But to the extent that you have money coming, you're going to get a lot less of it. And I can show you why that happens. That's option A. Option B, which is the reason that I'm calling, is I love the house. I need to get more houses like this, and I'm willing to pay you everything that you and the house has earned. But there's a trade-off with me giving you everything that this house is worth, along with no fees, no discounts, taking the house as is, closing whenever you're ready. The trade-off is you have to be more patient in getting that money or getting that loan paid off. Now, I'll pay you in a way for that patience. But if you can live with that, you'll get a lot more money. And most people would rather have more money. But a lot of people don't want to deal with the anxiety that produces. So they take option A, a lot less money, so that a realtor can pay for their kids' college education and their Cadillac and their nights out on the town. If you work that hard to build equity in your house so that you can do that for some realtor, you're not alone. The majority of people do that. But a lot of people want the money that they and their house has earned. So you have one of those two options. Let's explore both of them, shall we? Okay, so what I mean is this strategy, there's only two things to know. Less money, but get it all done. A lot more money, but you have to be a little bit patient and stick with it for a minute. Now, underneath that second strategy, there's a whole lot of deal structures. We can take over existing debt sub 2. If it's free and clear, we can create some kind of seller financing, a stream of installment payments. It could be a hybrid where we're taking over an underlying loan subject to the terms of that loan and creating a payment structure for their equity. Maybe they don't want to sell it until everything's done. We can lease it from them. They got to give us the option to buy it during the term of the lease. Maybe they want too much down, too much monthly, too much price, or too short a duration, and we're a little nervous about closing on it. Well, we'll do our best, take it out to the market. We're experts at going out to our market to attract to fish in a pool of buyers that's 20 times larger than the market that they're used to. And we'll see what the market says. But we need 90 days to close our buyer because we don't know exactly what the market is going to say yet because they're asking for too much. In other words, there's a whole lot of different things that we can go through. These are the deal structures. So you have strategy, you have deal structures. You have to know that. That's the what to do, right? The stuff that has to be in your brain. Once you know what to do, it's not enough because, like I just said, using my child as an example on snowboarding, I know exactly what to do snowboarding wise. I have no clue what to say to her. I kind of know like a little bit, like go edge to edge and how to distribute your weight. I'm quite confident there's a protocol that those snowboard instructors have for how they actually bring a kid along or anybody who's new to snowboarding along. I have no idea what that is. I know what to do. I snowboard with those instructors. I'm probably better than them. But I don't know how to teach it. Now, I'm not asking you to conduct a seminar or teach the seller, but you are going to have to help them comprehend what it is you're talking about. So just knowing what to do isn't enough. There's a certain way of communicating with sellers that we have to master. So that means we have to try to perfect our approach with the seller so that they feel comfortable with us from the beginning. They see our genuineness, our transparency, our authenticity. And at the same time, based on what we're saying, they get a sense that we have expertise in this area and that we have competencies in this area. And then we simply ask them about that binary strategic choice. Look, it sounds like you want everything that this house and you have earned, the full price for it, and you deserve to get it. And I can give it to you. I'm just thinking that I would rather reserve my cash for sellers that are willing to discount their house, frankly, like banks, disinterested entities who don't have any kind of emotional attachment to the house or any real need to extract every penny out of the house. They'll sell me those houses all day long at a discount. So I usually reserve my cash for that. But I can still give you full price on this because I do want your house. I love your house. And I can give you full price for it. It's just you won't get all your cash right away. What I'm saying is I would make you a monthly payment for a period of time until we pay you off in full. Now, is that something that you could live with if you were going to get a lot more money? And their answer is either yes or no. Folks, this is how simple this is. Their answer is either yes, well, it could be maybe, right? But a maybe is, I put them in the yes category because we get to continue on with our script a little bit. But if it's a no, hell no, I ain't doing that, I got to get all my money, we know exactly what strategy to push them into. We're going to be dealing in one dimension only, and that's price. We got to get the best price we can, and we either get an option on that or we realtor list it. Okay, that's choice one of those binary options. Choice two, there's a multitude of deal structures that we can do if they're open to taking monthly payments for a period of time. We like to buy the houses that are yeses and maybes, to maybe considering taking payments. So if they fall in that category, the next thing we're getting into is a series of questions. Well, tell me, do you have the house free and clear? Okay, what's the mortgage situation on it? How much owed? How much paid per month? I've got to structure something around that so you're not coming out of pocket. And then we go for the best price we can get, the best monthly payment we can get, the best term we can get, and we want to get as close to zero down as possible. We help them construct us an offer. I'm not going to be naming any numbers. I haven't even seen the house yet, but I want to get them to tell me what they're willing to do so that I can send them paperwork to see if they even meant it. Because frankly, folks, when this is first presented to somebody, they'll play with you a little bit on the phone and give you some numbers, and then you think that you have a deal and you're like ready to go out there the next day. They go to sleep at night and they're like, I don't think I really want to do it. They wake up in the morning, but they're like, he's coming out. We'll see if he falls in love with the house. You just wasted a whole day. So I want paperwork back with them agreeing to what they said on the phone. That doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to do it. Probably will, possibly will. But I want to see the house. Either have a representative of mine go out there, boots on the ground, check out the house. Like FaceTime me so I can be involved in the seeing of the house, and then we can finalize things. And when you finalize those things, you haven't risked any of your own money. You haven't risked any of your own credit. You've been able to transact with any seller on any house because every seller in every house falls into something along the continuum I just described. From an all cash sale to a retail price paying owner occupant buyer who brought in a bank loan, all the way to a free and clear house or a house you're taking over sub 2 where we're just making payments on the underlying debt, or we're just making payments, installment payments to a seller. All deals fall along that continuum. Every seller has to do one of those things if they're going to sell the house. So we service it all. And we can just be consultative in our approach, agnostic to what they decide. And we will make money on the people that we decide to work with and who decide to work with us. It's not going to be 100% of them, but it's going to be a hell of a lot more than a small, tiny little fraction of them if you're trying to get houses at 50 cents on the dollar, or you're just trying to get houses with creative financing. So this ambivalence, if you will, being agnostic to what the seller chooses, puts us in a great posture to be authentic, to show our integrity, to show our care for the seller's house and their situation, and to prove out, at least get them to make the inference that we're going to be the best person for them to deal with in the disposing, if you will, of their house, the selling of their house, the disposition of their house. And when you can do that, you get paid. And that's what everybody wants, right? Everybody wants to get paid. Once you can do that, it becomes incumbent on you to go out and get leads, people that you can talk to about this, because you know you can do it. You're making that money, honey. And now it's time to scale it up. I did it once. I want to do it again. It's like being a kid at Great America or Six Flags and you ride the roller coaster. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Everybody likes getting big old $25,000 checks on houses that they didn't really have to do anything with, but leverage what I just explained to you, which is your brain and your ability to articulate what's in your brain. So what happens is, I'll draw this parallel again. People see a lot of money being made, whether it's in this group, others, me, whatever, and they want that. Well, my kid sees videos of me snowboarding or other people snowboarding, and I want that. But are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to put in the work, or do you just want to get the spoils right away? A lot of people just want to get the spoils right away, so they skip over all this stuff. They go right into it, and then here's what happens. They fall down and they hurt their arms snowboarding. Now they're never going to snowboard again. They go out and they get beat up by sellers on the phone because they have really no clue what they're doing, and then they just get discouraged from the whole thing. Oh, this doesn't work. So this is a very long prelude because it's a very important topic. I am not of the view that you need to be calling a whole lot of sellers until you understand everything that I just talked about for, the last 15 minutes. Get that about as good as you can get it. That's why we have a portal to help you get trained. That's why we have a simulated environment to help you practice what you're going to say, so that when you get in the live environment and the first time you fall backwards on your snowboard, you don't break your wrist. The first time a seller calls you an a-hole or something like that, or hits you with a curveball, you don't get discouraged and scared and go crawl into bed in the embryo position or the fetal position, and cry like a baby. Okay, there's preparation that needs to be done. So some of you know, I've emphasized with that to you on the front end, because there's a real tendency, because there's a lot of grifters out here in real estate investment who make it seem like this is a freaking magic trick. It ain't no magic trick. Okay, look, even in a university setting, if you want to be some kind of, professional, they want you to be not just 4 years of school, they want you to, go to graduate school and stuff like that. Well, we're not talking about a process that's that long, like 7-8 years. We're not even talking 4 years. We're not even talking 1 year, really. But folks, don't think that this is like a quick read and now I go out and get into the real world and start producing big money. Can you put a semester into this maybe? Like a semester of school? One lousy semester with hyper focus on what to do and what to say? I need the money. Get me my leads. It's the wrong way of doing it. You want to do it that way, go ahead, but it's the wrong way of doing it. Give yourself some time to learn. Okay. Enough said on that. Let's get into, once you have this what to do, what to say piece down, let's get into how we go out there and make that money, because there's a lot of folks that are willing to sell their house, and we just need to talk to them. And I'm going to give you some good news, some real good news, which is this.